Hey y'all, this is Sam from the Roots of Change Agency, and I had a completely different newsletter planned this week, so I'm really hoping that you enjoy our connected TV coverage next week. But in the meantime, I wanted to get on and just share a short video about the election and this turning point that we are at in how we are going to create liberatory change. And I wanted to first reflect a few things of what I experienced out on the Southwest while I was volunteering and organizing for the election, but also just the ongoing organizing work that I've been seeing. And I also want to briefly talk about how the Roots of Change Agency is moving forward in this moment. We will have a lot more to share. I am already talking with folks, and we are working on what are the resources that we need right now, what are the resources that we will need in January. And so rest assured, there are folks who are already on the ground and are working to shoring up as many protections that we can and to support the marginalized folks that will be impacted and frankly everyone that will be impacted by the next administration. And so I wanted to take a moment. There will be many, many different takeaways about this election. We will look at the data, we will look at the votes, and we can assess a lot more. But as we are just reacting right now and really taking all of this in, I want to just share that I'm not that surprised by the election results, having been out on the road and talking with voters. There is a lot of anger. There is a lot of division and fear and isolation. The pandemic and its aftermath have really frayed our society, and our digital worlds have fractured our sense of society and community. And you can see that in the suburbs and the rural communities that I was walking through and talking with. And I think that this is just a wake-up call for anyone who is a communicator in this moment. Having a strong brand doesn't mean anything. You have to have substance behind it. I have worked in marketing for over 15 years. I have worked for Fortune 500 brands, and I can tell you, you can put a lot of marketing and you cannot put lipstick on a pig. And that is what's happening in this world. People are smart. People understand that the systems aren't working for them. They understand that they are paying way more in groceries and that they are fighting just to stay in their homes. They are angry and they just want to live and not work as much as they are working. They want some types of joy and just to escape. And we are seeing the reality and the implications of that, and the lack of organizing that the Democratic Party did. I am not discounting organizers. I actually want to share that organizing is working. When we look at the numbers so far, where we organized, we are tight. We are winning or we are tight. In the Central Valley, the Congressional District 13, Adam Gray is so close. The margins are so small, and we are waiting for those last few votes. And we were out there talking with voters. We knocked on 20,000 doors last weekend. And so when we organize, we can persuade, we can influence, we can energize. But we can only do that when we have the substance behind it. And so I think that's something, whether you're in or out of the Democratic Party, but especially if you're out of the Democratic Party, how are we going to organize in this moment? How are we communicating in this moment to show that we can act, that we can deliver on our promises, that community is the answer, that organizing is the answer, because it is. But we have lost that. We've lost the plot. And I also want to say the tech and media and corporate consolidation that happened after the pandemic, especially the acceleration of that, has been a huge influence. The disinformation machines and the right-wing ecosystems are real, and they are influencing people every single day. And we need to figure out, how do we disrupt that? How do we build our own ecosystems that are talking about true change, true hope? How are we inspiring our people to get up? Because we've really lost that. And I understand why. There's been a lot of pushback. The powers that be have a lot of money and a lot of resources to stop the left and the progressive movement from speaking out and being heard. And so there's a lot of work for us to do, but it's something that I know that we can do. And so that is what I will share right now. I have a lot more planned upcoming. I hope to do an event where I do talk about my trip and experience in the Southwest a lot more, talk about some of the experiences, some of the conversations that I had, and how we move forward in this moment. I hope that all of you are taking care of yourself, no matter who or how you are reacting in this moment. If you have not checked out our self and community care resources, definitely check those out. Some of the kind of like somatic exercises are extremely helpful if you just need something to grab in the moment. And then moving forward, we are working on resources. I will be working on digital security resources. How do we make sure that organizations are ready and starting to prepare for a Trump presidency, both in securing their digital infrastructure as well as preparing for uncertain rapid fire communications and other things like that. So we will be here, we will be having trainings that will be speaking directly to this moment. And yeah, I just want to encourage everyone to feel however you feel, but know that there are folks that are moving, that are organizing, and when and if you are ready, you can come and join us. So stay tuned for more. We will be leading with our heart first activism. We will be leading with humanity in this moment, and defeating fascism through what we know to be true, which is connection and the human spirit. So stay tuned, and I hope that you take care of yourself in this moment.